with Mark Pavelich and Jesse Martineau. Get ready. It's time for the Me and Jesse podcast with Mark Pavelich and Jesse Martineau.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Me and Jesse podcast. My name is Mark Pavelich, and in the Grove, the one and only, the star of the show, Jesse Martineau.
What's up, Mark? How you doing?
I'm doing good. The Oilers are doing good.
You know, I'm gonna start off saying this. Does anyone care about hockey anymore? Does anyone really care?
Oh, let
This
me explain
sport
to you.
is
They
over.
do. No. Jesse, you're the only one that doesn't
No,
care.
I'm not. If
You're
I
in the-
was
you're,
wrong,
you're in the minority. You're
no,
in the minority.
I'm not in the minority. Otherwise,
You are.
it would be higher than rated 12th in the United States of America.
Listen, they just have bad promotion, but there's nothing more exciting going on in the world right now. Nothing compared to the
NBA playoffs?
NHL. No, not even close.
Oh,
NBA
come
playoffs are awesome. NBA playoffs are awesome, but NHL rules, man. I'm telling you, like
It
I've been
rules
watching.
Canada. I'll give you that.
No, you know what? They've done a horrible job promoting it in the United States, in my opinion, and that's why. Listen, don't get me wrong. I
Yeah,
love
but
the NBA. I love it immensely.
Yeah, but the promotion part. Okay, let's say that. Let's say it's just not promoted well.
If I'm eating an apple while we're doing the podcast, do you hear the noise?
We're live, so I mean, it's
Yeah, but is it annoying or no?
I can't hear you.
Okay, good. Go ahead.
I mean,
I
if
said
the
I need
promotion
Apple
was
during
a
the
big
podcast,
deal, like I think, okay, sure, fine. Let's say that it's not promoted well enough. But do Americans care about another sport like this? I mean,
No,
they've had
because-
enough
no.
time. The majority of the teams are in the States by far, 3-1.
But don't forget, you go in the States, you got NFL that reigns supreme.
Yes.
Then you have Major League Baseball. Then you have NBA. Then you have probably more fringe things like golf.
Dude, NASCAR rates. Is like
NASCAR.
number
NASCAR is
3.
huge, right? NASCAR is huge. You know, then you have golf. Then you have all these other things. Then you get down to like, you know, pickleball, and then you get hockey after that.
Well, that's a problem, isn't it? So that's what I
Uh-huh.
mean. Like, nobody cares. And I'm not saying that they wouldn't care, but right now, nobody cares because nobody knows about it.
Well, I agree with you, but that doesn't make it right because I can't express how great these playoffs have been and how exciting it is. And now, right now, after the Toronto Maple Leafs, you pricks, you disgusting varmints, you understand? Like it is 3. They're down 0-3, and I can't get enough of these memes and gifs and all these other things about what's going on. It couldn't happen to a nicer organization, the demise. And you know, they're down 0-3. It's still not over though. I mean, you know, to be honest with you, if you could come back on any team in the world, it would be this Florida team, in my opinion. But I don't see it happening, but it could. But I can't wait because I predicted this a long time ago. As you know, all you great viewers of the Me and Jesse podcast, I predicted the Oilers would win the Stanley Cup, and I predicted the Toronto Maple Leafs would not. And boy, oh boy, I'm looking like a star right now.
Well, that first round must have had you worried, especially with Boston going out, and then they had to face.
Oh, can you imagine? And then Boston went out, and,
and
I was
then they were
like,
like, oh, the door is open.
door
But
just opened.
in
And
typical
then
Toronto fashion,
and then Colorado got bounced.
Yep.
But you know what? You know what, Jesse? What you know what scares me right now? Seattle.
Jeez, it's
Oh my
crazy,
God.
actually.
Who are these guys? Unbelievable.
I mean, hey, like
Unbelievable.
I'm excited about it because of
It's
that.
crazy.
I do like Seattle, obviously, but I it is crazy how well they're
Crazy.
doing right now. And you know, it's one of those things. It's a similar story as Vegas because there's not a superstar really. They have great depth. They have great players, but
Yeah.
you struggle with like pointing out like the superstar guys because they just haven't been around enough. So that's the thing. But yeah, it is good. And again, back and forth. I actually do think this Vegas Oilers series can end up being really, really good. I don't think the Oilers are going to run the rest of the games.
No, I don't think so either. I think they're going to win the series, but I don't think they're going to run. I don't think you can run on anybody anymore in the NHL. I really don't. I think everybody's kind of super competitive. I think everybody's got those first round draft choices on their team. But you're right, though. Vegas and Seattle don't have these rock stars like the Oilers have rock stars.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, there's no question.
Draisaitl right now is unconscious. Like he is literally the best. He's the best player on the planet.
Again, like teams have to prepare for McDavid. You have to because
and Draisaitl now.
Yeah, but you can't because they're split out. So that's the difference, right? So you have and again, McDavid has had in terms of McDavid numbers, not a great playoffs if you're looking at that.
No,
but
he hasn't.
It doesn't matter because it's enabling other people to do his job, which never really happened before because no one really ever stepped up to do it. And then McDavid would get frustrated and want to do it himself, and we know how that's gone for the last how long is it? 7 years. So
what about Nugent Hopkins now too, right? He's done nothing during the playoffs, but this is a guy that had 102 points during the regular season.
Yeah, and again, it's different. I think that's where I think it shows the playoff to regular season the difference you're talking about. It shows in that because let's be real, like Nuge isn't built for playoff mode.
He's not.
Yeah,
he's not.
But regular season, the guy's gonna put
Yamamoto either. Yamamoto either. No. He's not made for the playoffs.
No,
either.
And again, like that's the difference. That is obviously a big thing. Like who, you got to get to the show first, but then when you're there, who gets to be the playoff stars? And that's what happens. That's where I think Draisaitl is actually, and it's hard to say it because of McDavid, but let's just say it for the sake of it, that Draisaitl is a better playoff performer than McDavid. I do think that like his size
he's
and
built
he's
for
built
it.
that
He's built
way,
for it.
and
He is.
He's tough and he's hard to move off the puck, and all those other things too. Obviously, McDavid's.
You love his interview. His interview's got to be the best though. Like
he's
literally
gotten better since that reporter that lit him up that night, and everyone flamed the reporter. He saved the Oilers.
You might be
right. Honest, like the guy, like Draisaitl, since that moment is a different person.
Yeah,
all the things that he pointed out, that reporter, he's now changed.
If he wasn't what he is today, he'd be a serial killer. Like if you ever seen the way he does it, like he has this kind of serial killer mentality, right? And that's the scary thing about Draisaitl. He doesn't care. They were asking him the other day, oh, when you score the 4 goals, is that a big deal to you? And he's like, no, it's not. It's winning is a big deal to me. I don't.
Right?
And he didn't say that like a cliche. He meant it. You can see.
And
there's something different
because before it did matter to him. He wouldn't have cared if they lost. He got 4 goals, and I think that's what that reporter. And I can't remember his name. Lost it now, but I think that's what he was pointing at. He's like, hey, you have this team that could be incredible. What level of weight do you put on yourself to carry forward? And
can we give Kane some love right now for the stuff he's
again,
been
another playoff guy, right? Like that's a playoff.
I didn't say what was it? I made a bunch of gifs that went out on Twitter, and my favorite one is, wait a second, it was so funny because I couldn't stop watching it, and wait a second.
The girl playing
he said,
the bird.
He goes, "You want to fuck around? You're going to find out, right?"
Oh, yeah,
that's what he said.
Yeah.
And he said he's right. He's like, people don't understand. Like, there's very few guys left in the NHL that are still in that can mess with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when Calgary was around, you still have Lucic, who's probably one of the tougher guys in the NHL. I mean, I'm sure Kane can kind of like hold him not to get killed, but he can't beat Lucic in a fight. But he's gone, right? So all these guys are kind of gone. And the last guy, you saw it in the fight against Vegas, how he was ragdolling guys. You kind of went, this guy is the tough guy left in the NHL now in the playoffs. So if you're gonna start doing shit to Edmonton, you will have to answer to him. And
you should.
And that's the way it should be.
It absolutely should be. You shouldn't have to. You shouldn't be able to run around with these guys and
That's
do
right.
what you want. You need someone that can answer the bell and ring the bell if he needs to, which is what happened.
Correct.
And again,
that doesn't even happen that much. And now in the NHL, I mean, how many times have we saw a real fight? Like it doesn't happen that much. There's scuffles. They break up the scuffles.
It's a little less. If there's a blowout and stuff, which is, that's what Vegas, hey, 5-1, let's throw some, let's leave a bad taste in their mouth after. And you have to do that. Like you have to. It's part of hockey.
I totally agree.
But yeah, the Kraken.
What do you think? What do you think now? What do you think about the Seattle team though, Jesse? Like the Kraken, the way they're playing,
running up 7-2 on the Stars last game. Like,
I mean, come on, man, on the Stars. Like this is no joke. This is crazy.
And again, the first game went to overtime. They win 5-4. They lose 4-2 the second game, but then game 3, they at home, I believe. Yeah, they go off and
they destroyed them.
And like, okay, geez, like, let's see what happens here.
See, and that's what bugs me now, because you were all talking. Everybody's talking. Every 5 minutes it changes. Now they said before the playoffs kind of start, Leafs are favored to win the cup. Now, what fucking moron said that should be arrested? Okay, 55 years haven't won the Stanley Cup. 20 years haven't been out of the first round, and now they're talking about them winning the Stanley Cup. I mean, it's bananas. But guess what? Now they're down 0-3. So now they're no longer favored to win the Stanley Cup. It's the Oilers. And I tell everybody
with Boston and Colorado.
No, but I tell everybody, shut up. No one's favored to win the Stanley Cup, because if you watch the Kraken play yesterday, I'm telling you, man, they are scary.
Well, they're playing like a team.
Yeah, correct. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. People, like, we're watching our series over here, and you might catch a little bit of the Kraken game, but you're not
really paying attention.
You're not really paying attention.
Exactly, my
point. That could be a problem.
But again, hey, you look on the other side, and now you look at the Panthers, who knocked off the Bruins.
Yeah, and now running off the Leafs. And they skunked the Leafs. So now that's a problem.
Okay, wow,
that's
like what's going on over here? And then so I mean, it's shaping up. I love Cinderella runs. I really do. I would like to see one win one finally, but it is great when the team just, it all comes together for the playoffs, and then you beat the best team that's ever been in the NHL. And
crazy.
It's insane. And now the Kraken's doing it. And
they say it's the biggest upset in NHL history. You know that, right? Because
it has to be.
Yeah, but no one's paying attention to that. It's weird, because it's like Boston, Florida is arguably the greatest upset in NHL history.
Well, it's like the Leafs fans are paying attention now.
Yeah, isn't that funny? I put that video out yesterday too on Instagram and Twitter. The one of Florida fans. I sent it to you.
We want Florida.
We want Florida, and I'm like, perfect.
And that was in response, everyone, to Toronto chanting that when they beat the Lightning. And so, so Florida was trolling them, which is great. I love it. I mean, down 3-0, we all know the percentages. It is not good.
It's dismal.
It doesn't look good. You got about I think it's like a 10% chance of actually doing it. And so, again, you got to give it to the Panthers now. You got to think
any other team with actual heart, they have a chance.
Well, it's really interesting how, again, like,
the problem is you have Matthews that questionable with his heart. You have Varner, questionable heart. You have Mitch Marner. I mean, you have questionable heart there too as well. The goalie situation is a shit show, and now you have all these other players that that you expect so much from. Now they start to remember it's been 55 years since they won the cup. They're down 0-3. The Pavelich curse is real. They're starting, all these things are playing in their head. And you know what, Jesse, it's no shock that they're down 0-3. I hate to quote Sean Avery. I saw Sean Avery say the other day, he's like, they're going to get run over. Like,
wow.
Florida's going to run over Toronto.
Wow.
And he said they're going to get run over.
That's
and
brave.
No one was saying that. Not even I was saying that.
No, I thought like, hey man, the door's open for the Leafs. That's actually what I thought. I thought they were at least going to the semifinal. Now because of
you
Boston.
got to open the door. You got to open the door. Yeah.
And I think maybe that hurts them. You go into that game and you don't take the Panthers. I don't know how you can't though. because
after
they
they
just
beat Boston. Yeah.
Like that.
Mhm.
That should warn you. Like, hey, that's Boston. They just ran out of town, and it shouldn't have happened, and it did. And so you got to pay attention. And all of a sudden, you find yourself down 3-0. That, I mean, it.
Yeah.
We blinked and it was 3-0. That
Correct.
has to be the craziest, around. Like, and again, Panthers aren't blowing people away, but they just have this style.
But they're winning.
Of not breaking. They can bend a bit, but they don't break, and they just capitalize on all those chances they get. Where
I can actually say that Toronto played them all 3 games and lost.
It's crazy. Like, I think it's accurate. I think that's
Can we still talk about this though? Calgary, like, missing Matthew Tkachuk this year, and then Matthew Tkachuk going to Florida,
dude.
And
I love Matt Tkachuk.
and showing what he is all about in Florida.
Playoff guy.
And
I honestly, I do think he's built for the playoffs.
Someone forgot to tell him that
The
the
Oilers
Boston
could have had
Bruins.
him,
But it's insane
They
when
took
you think about
Pugliarvi.
it. Oh my God, you imagine that? Like,
Dude,
it's
if they took
insane.
Tkachuk, it would already be over. Like, they would
It
already have a
would have
cup.
been done.
Yeah, they would already have a cup.
But Tkachuk is playing at a level that is so bizarre to everybody because,
I think he gets bad rap because, I mean, I've watched him this whole career.
Yeah.
And he was incredible. Everyone hated him because of the Oilers thing, and they thought he was a baby, but he's not. He's a tough son of a bitch.
He is.
And he's got the toughness of his dad, the scoring ability of his dad, but the skill of someone that.
And he's bigger. He's bigger than his dad.
Crazy.
He's way bigger than his dad. He literally has took Florida on his back.
Yeah.
Someone forgot to tell this kid that Boston had the record they
that's
had.
right.
Did it seem like he didn't give a shit?
Didn't
Did
care.
it seem like he didn't care at all? Like, there was nothing to this kid. He went out there and doing the things between his legs still and doing all that shit. And I'm telling you, he has made such a difference in Florida. Florida right now is doing this right now with their cash register going, did we ever make a good move, you know?
Oh, dude, did they ever? And, again, like, people love Huberdeau. I love Huberdeau, but, he's older, and you replaced him with a guy that is going to give you another decade of amazing hockey. And there's no question in my mind that, you have to, I think you're 100% right, you have to count a lot of that success to Chuck. As much as Oilers fans say, man, imagine if they meet in the final. Imagine Florida
It
and
could
Edmonton.
happen.
It could
100%
happen. Could happen. That would be great.
Oh, it would be nuts.
Yeah.
Like, this, you know what the thing is though? There is a skill difference now between Florida and Edmonton. And the problem is too, another problem is too, is you have to understand something. The power play record was broken by the Oilers this year. During the playoffs, they have now improved 26% on the best power play in history. The Edmonton Oilers.
I see. They're running at a higher percentage.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesse, it's not even fair. It's like they play with a man down. The other day they went 100% on their power play. Or was it 4 for 4 or 5 for 5?
Yeah, you cannot put and you
cannot take penalties against the Oilers. I'm telling you, they have 2 units that will kill you. So it literally looks like the Harlem Globetrotters are playing when they're on their power play. Nobody stands still. Everybody's shifting and moving. Draisaitl's over here. McDavid's over here. And you know what's funny? Everybody's looking for McDavid to score, but it's Draisaitl's the guy that's going to score. They're looking to set up Draisaitl on the far left hash, and he drills it. Or right hash, sorry.
When you look at the even strength numbers, Draisaitl, 7 goals, 6 power play goals. But McDavid, 1 goal, 3 power play. And so you cannot put this team on the power play.
They'll kill you.
That's how
They'll
Evan
kill you.
Bouchard has 14 points. Like, come on now.
Yeah.
There's a
It's
reason.
crazy. There you go.
Yeah, he's got 9 power play assists and 3 power play goals out of his 13. Yeah, he's got 2 even strength points. Evan Bouchard. You just can't put those guys on the power play. Tkachuk's got 15 points. He's tied with McDavid.
Crazy.
And yeah, it's nuts. Where
But we knew it though. But you said it about this kid when he played in Calgary.
Yeah, I love him.
And you never jumped off the bandwagon. I think you were driving the actual bandwagon on this kid, and you were no, honestly, Jesse. If you weren't, I would call you out too. You know that. So you when it's good, it's good. And you said that this kid is like, when he got traded, you said it was a catastrophic mistake.
Oh yeah, no, I hate it.
We did see that. We did see that this year.
Yeah, totally.
You could get rid of Johnny Goodrow, but you shouldn't have got rid of the kid, Tkachuk.
I think now that was a Sutter thing too.
Yeah, but you go to Tkachuk now in Florida, and look what's happening.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah,
they're about to skunk the Toronto
man,
Maple
if they can
Leafs.
sweep the Leafs, that would be.
Oh my God.
Jeez, that would be insane.
Make me happy.
Like it is crazy when you look.
Yes.
At that, like I don't even get it. But
Jesse, they actually outplayed them all 3 games. Toronto Maple Leafs outplayed Florida all 3 games, and then certain parts of the game, Florida decided this is where we're going to take over, and that's when they scored these goals. But then they went back into this kind of defensive trap kind of form of hockey where it was weird. It was like there was one time they were in their end. I thought, oh my God, they're on a power play, but they weren't. It was weird, and they have great goaltending, Florida. So this is something that Toronto can't figure out for some reason.
Yeah.
And you know what happens, Jesse? Once again, toughest organization in the world to play for because of the losing. And that's, I know I shit talk Toronto lots. I'm the biggest hater of them out of anybody on the planet. But the facts of the matter is they have a great bunch of hockey players, but there's something about the dichotomy between the upper office to the fans to the ice. The kid is going to be packing his bags in about 48 hours. The GM is going to pack his bags and bounce out of Toronto. And then I heard someone tell me the other day, a friend of ours tell me the other day, oh, he'll get picked up somewhere else. And I'm like, yeah, it's called the fucking OHL, buddy. That's where he's going to get picked up. Because if you think he's going to get picked up in the NHL, a kid like that, GM, after shitting the bed with the roster that he got, he is not going to be getting picked up from anybody. Trust, not in the NHL.
Okay, here's a funny stat. The Seattle top playoff point getter right now is Yanni Gourde, and he's 20th overall with 9 points. That just shows you how well that team's playing together, because they're not one guy's doing it. They're all doing it.
You know what it's reminding me of, Jesse? Remember the year when St. Louis won the Stanley Cup, like in the last so many years? Same thing. Nobody was thinking, oh, they made a trade at the deadline. They ended up getting in like a few players, and people are like, oh, whatever.
That year, I think it was.
What's his name played for them too? The kid that played for the Oilers, the big guy.
Yes.
Shit.
There was a bunch. Oilers and Lewis have traded a lot together.
But what happened was, and then he went off to Tampa, the same guy. I can't believe I forgot his name. I met him multiple times. He was here in Edmonton, and he went to St. Louis, won the cup. Then they traded him to Tampa Bay, and they won the cup there too again. But it's those key role players that you bring in that make the difference.
Yeah.
Like the Oilers did, right?
Yeah.
But Kyle Dubas is literally on life support right now. If this team gets waxed in 4, his GM days will be over in the NHL. So Kyle Dubas, the clock is ticking. The video was out with him arguing with fans one time.
Yeah.
I had to share that everywhere. It was a combination of Leaf fans and Florida fans, but he was sitting there arguing with them from the press box. Never in my life I've seen a GM do that. Kyle Dubas did that. And bring Brendan Shanahan with you, because his days are number 2.
That's true.
Yeah.
Funny part, another thing about back to Seattle, is that the second point getter is Justin Schultz, former Edmonton Oiler. Was
oh my
horrible.
God, that's crazy.
And then the third is Jordan Eberle.
I saw that. That's insane.
What the heck?
Yeah, that's insane.
That would be funny if they met too in the playoffs, which they might do.
Yeah.
I mean, right now it looks like they could. But yeah, it is. Toronto's in. If they get swept, I mean, it's one thing getting out of the first round, but I don't think anyone's really going to care after that when the door was open when Boston's gone.
Correct. But you remember it was
choked
Patty
that
Maroon.
bad.
It was
Pat
Patty
Maroon, yes, of course.
It was Pat
Yeah.
Maroon who they brought in St. Louis, and they brought in a few key guys, and then they ended up winning the cup. And that's what the Kraken are starting to remind me of. The Kraken are reminding me of that kind of like they're just playing really good hockey together and they're scoring a ton of goals. And at this time of year, that's a pretty good combination.
Yeah. The wild one is Devils Hurricanes because it's like whatever night they're going to run up the score on someone.
Everybody forgot about that series.
Yeah,
right?
Carolina is actually dangerous. Yeah. But the Devils put up 8 on them last game. So again,
it's crazy.
It's
and how does that happen?
I don't know. It is one of those things. But, I think that, man, if you have to pick out who's left, geez. I mean, it's hard to say. It could be a repeat of the Oilers-Canes.
It could be.
Holy moly, that would be something, eh?
Could be. But listen, do not count out the Kraken. Do not count. It's you can't.
Hey, this is only the second round. We're really right. We're only really.
Isn't it not?
Into
don't
the
forget
second round.
after our podcast, the Oilers play at 6:30 Mountain Time. So right after the podcast, and like I said, our boy Kelly Rudy is doing an unreal job on
people shit on Kelly all the time. People shit on Kelly all the time.
Oh, you're an idiot. You're an idiot.
I don't understand it. The guy's the best analyst that maybe Sportsnet's ever had, I think. Elliot Friedman, that guy needs to bounce. That guy is horrible.
We've had so many guys on our podcast, okay? And this is us bragging now, but we've had Ken Reed on, who's from Sportsnet. Yeah. Another great guy. But then we have Kelly Rudy on. We've had, Louis DeBrusque, all these guys. And you know what's funny? Louis DeBrusque is fantastic too, right? I mean, he's really good. Kelly Rudy's fantastic. I mean, he's at the top of the top, in my opinion. So
yeah, I love Kelly. I really do. I think he's awesome. But yeah, it's one of those things. I don't know. Well, I guess that there's other sports going on, and there is.
Yeah, you bring up if we don't bring up F1 today, so I can shit all over Total Wolf, I'm just gonna walk off because what Mercedes has done now with F1 racing, to turn your TV on and to see your team wanting to just make the podium, not win the race. Well, let's just make the podium. And you know what happens? I was okay until yesterday. When Max Verstappen, the greatest car guy driver in F1 right now, starts at P9.
Yeah, it was a statement. It was a statement yesterday.
A fucking statement. Yeah. What else was it? Yeah. He literally starts at P9 and he runs and gobble Pac-Man
even everybody with the same car. It was. Yeah. And he at the end, you could tell, he got out. He didn't do his usual cheer. He just took his helmet off and pointed at the number one and pointed at the camera.
He went over to the team. He hugged the team. It was no big hoopla. That's scary because this guy's become a serial winner. Yeah.
That Red Bull car, that Red Bull team. It's so funny because I really loved the changes that they made a year ago, and it got Mercedes it put parity back. But Red Bull's figured out the win button right now, and nobody can really
have they ever
do anything. Really, right now, it is a chance of just making the podium because Perez and Verstappen are going to be 1 and 2, and
1 and 2 again.
It is a thing. The crazy part is that Mercedes is in the constructors race, because Fernando Alonso at Aston Martin. Now the problem with them, they could be second easily, but they have a stupid kid named Lance Stroll, and he's Canadian, but it doesn't matter to me. The guy sucks, and the only reason he's there is because his dad owns the team, and that's it. There's no other. The guy should be driving go-karts for a living.
I totally agree.
Renting go-karts for a living because he can't.
And you know what, Lance, don't get mad, Lance, because you're Canadian. That's the soft criticism.
Yeah.
Because we love Canadians. Listen, if Jesse was being totally honest today, he would have dropped about 8 F-bombs about how shitty of a driver you are. And he did say you should be driving go-karts.
In an amazing car. Yeah. I said you should be renting go-karts.
Renting.
like renting them out. Like the guy that has there with the little counter, counting the laps that the kids do around the go-kart track. That's what he
Lance
should be doing.
Stroll blows, man. He blows.
He's so bad.
But you know what? It disturbed me today because I read an article today about Toto Wolff criticizing, arguably one of the greatest drivers in the entire world, Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah, the most winning driver for sure.
Okay, so one of the greatest of all time. We
Yeah.
got the Schumachers of the world, and we got all these
Ayrton
people.
Senna,
World.
yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But we can put Lewis Hamilton in that category, and he's talking shit about him. And I've finally come. I know what happens immediately when people start doing this is they need to go. They're the problem.
I think he does. I
they're
think
deflecting.
you
They're
can tell like
deflecting.
he loved winning and he doesn't like losing, and neither does Lewis. Like I do get the one thing
course.
is that you got 20 drivers out there and they're all babies. They've all been spoiled their entire life. Everything's been
Correct.
done for them. They're used to winning their whole entire life, and now they're the center of the driving universe. And they all whine. They're all like people say one person whine. They all do. They all do it, and the principles aren't any different. They're all the same. So, you get Toto in there and it is clear that he's lost his, what made Toto.
His shine.
Like
His
it's
shine.
gone. Like it really doesn't seem like it's there. Lewis doesn't seem himself.
It doesn't.
Lewis seems like he's, like you said it a few weeks ago, he lost the gas pedal somewhere. It seems that way. The car's not good. And it all adds up.
But he's came to some kind of weird thing in his head where he's okay with that. Like it's not a big thing to him. It's not like he's upset about it. He's always giving you like, bro, join a fucking yoga club then. Okay, go if you want to be doing namaste. If you want to do namaste bullshit, this isn't namaste. This is F1. And why are you acting that way? It drives me nuts. Hey, listen, Russell's the same way. Really calm, really, really soft, but he doesn't have the fire. Listen, that's what I love about Max. That's what I love about Max.
Oh,
if we're gonna have an MMA fight right now, I start to train Max. He wins all day long.
See, the funny thing is that go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, because he's got that mindset. Yeah. You see it in him. He's got that fire in him. Even when he wins, he's mad.
Yeah.
When he wins, he's mad. I've seen him win and be mad. And that's the guy I want driving my car.
The funny thing is that someone asked him like how he plays soccer and tennis and stuff. He's like, I'm horrible with a ball. Actually, I'm not good at any other sport because all he ever did from the time he could walk was drive. And that was all that he ever did. He doesn't play other sports. He might like to try, but he's not good at anything else. He says, this is the only thing I'm good at. And again, like it shows like that's the kind of person you need to win. That's what Schumacher was to me. Like the guy only cared about everything with the car. Like it is.
And you know what? Hamilton, it seemed like that when he was on top. And when he was on top, the car was on top.
Yes.
So what happened? So there's a thing for F1 people out there. They know what I'm talking about right now is because he didn't have to work for it as much. Okay. Now he has to really work for it. When Max starts at P9, he doesn't think, oh, I want to make the podium. Max says, I'm going to win.
Yeah.
If he starts anything from P10.
Well, now,
10, 11,
really, like it's crazy. Like now it is like almost like, okay, let's let Max start from way back there to see him how
to
far
make it
up
fair.
he can go.
But you know what's crazy? That's what pissed me off now. Because when I heard Toto Wolff talking shit about Hamilton, I thought to myself, Max started P9.
Yeah.
Okay. P9 and won the race.
It is crazy.
There's no more argument.
Yeah, it's crazy how good that car is, though. It is whatever they figured out. It is.
No, the car's great, but the guy driving it's maybe even greater.
Absolutely, I agree with that too.
Let's crown him for real, okay? Because any guy that starts at P9 and he's mad, he's pissed off the whole time he's in P9. He's pissed off when he's at P8. He's pissed off when he's at P7. He's pissed off when he's at P6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and until he's that checker flag, and then he's mad still because he's trying to figure out. How did we start at P9?
Yeah,
that's what he's saying.
It is that, and he was mad because he made a mistake in qualifying. Then there was a red flag and whatever. But yeah, it is crazy. Now we didn't get a chance to talk about the NFL draft, and I want to say this, and you're gonna like this, that I graded the teams on their drafting.
Oh, awesome!
Yes, and I give your Raiders
B+,
an A.
Whoa!
I know.
Whoa,
Only A plus is higher. I give them an A. They did what they needed to do. And I think that they, in the past, and we've talked about this extensively, of how bad they've drafted. And this is the year they finally put it all together. And they actually got some very high value targets and people that it can affect them right now. Their pass rush could be the best in the league. Like
but you also understand one big problem. Big problem.
What's that?
I think Jimmy G is a good quarterback, but I don't think he. What I'm saying is, I think he's a good. He's adequate. Okay. The problem with him is he can't stay healthy.
Yes. No, I agree.
So what did you just do? What did you just do, Raiders? Have you lost your? I can't drop it. If I drop one more F-bomb, I'm going to set a record. Listen, you can see I'm agitated today, but you know what? You know what it is? You literally have traded away your backup quarterback that was to Derek Carr. Okay. So he's been traded. He's been sold off. Derek Carr, rightfully so. Let him be in New Orleans. He's not going to do shit there. Now you have Jimmy G as your quarterback. Who's your backup? That's a problem because your backup is a nobody. They don't even know who their backup is right now. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is a big, big problem with a guy like Jimmy G. He gets hurt all the time. So you can have the great pass rusher. You can have Josh Jacobs. You can have all these great things. But if your quarterback's hurt and you're playing with your backup, and your backup was Stidham before, who is actually a decent backup, is no longer your backup. Now you have a problem, Raiders. And I've already foreseen that because Jimmy G has a hard time staying healthy.
Yeah, he really does. He's obviously well-documented injury struggles and missed. I mean, that's how Mr. Relevant comes in last year. So
yeah,
it is.
And Jimmy G, when he plays, he wins. Now, is it pretty? No. Is he winning? Is he putting up 35 points? No. But do they win? It's a proven fact. When Jimmy G's in, they win. But the problem with Jimmy G is when he is in.
Yeah, I do think that he can play. It is. Oh man, it is going to be the thing. But okay, let's say this: that you run through this season with Jimmy, and next, and maybe the third. But you have a guy that you draft next year that you can develop because they do have a good development team.
In theory, that's what you do, Jesse. But who's in the world of it's funny. The NHL draft is happening. Is it today or tomorrow? I think it's today. So we have one of those generational players coming up, Connor Bedard. Okay, this kid is a generational player, just like you remember Connor McDavid. Crosby.
The lottery happens tonight. The draft's not until the 28th of June.
Ovechkin. These guys come along, but you don't have them every year, okay? Like Connor Bedard this is a year where it's like, oh shit, this is a guy. This is a guy, difference maker.
Yeah.
Right now, there's nobody. In this last year draft with Alabama, yes, they had the quarterback taken. That guy's special. But do we know anybody right now in college who are thinking, oh my God, next year's draft's going to be awesome. We're looking for a quarterback. That name's not even out there yet, Jesse. And that's a problem. We should know about that guy coming right now. We don't know about him coming. So the Raiders are in trouble right now, in my opinion, because you're talking Jimmy G staying healthy for 2 years. I'm talking about for 8 games. I want him to be healthy for at least 8 to 10 games.
I mean, like I think for them, I think you look at the first 6 games and see how it goes. And because you got to remember too, if they're going to win, let's say they're 500, that's going to be a middle of the pack pick anyway.
Yeah.
And so what do?
You could get a quarterback because everybody's got a quarterback. See, if people don't understand when you're watching the draft, like not Green Bay, the Jets, they're not going to, they got, what's his name now?
Aaron,
they got Rodgers, right? So they're not going to be looking for a quarterback. And you got KC, they're not looking for a quarterback. And you got Los Angeles not looking for a quarterback. You got all these teams not looking for a quarterback. So when it does come to, everybody's looking for running backs, everybody's looking for defensive players. But when it comes to quarterbacks, a lot of teams, they could have the best quarterback could be coming out of the draft. The first 8 picks might not need a quarterback. You know what I mean? That's how it works.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting. I think that
I agree.
have put themselves in a good spot, but we'll see what happens with the schedule too when it comes out, and then we'll
Well,
make
the
our
Thursday
predictions.
schedule came out today, and
Thursday
I
night,
saw it. But once again, it's the same usual
I
suspects.
hate those
Eh,
Thursday games.
Yeah, me too, Jesse. You know what's funny? I didn't until you got me started on that, and then I started thinking to myself, you know what? I don't like it either. So, you know what was weird though? The schedule came out. I took a screenshot of it because I was like, oh, okay. But you know what? I don't. It's like the KC again. Play them twice. You play, you play. There's a Lions game in there. Lions ain't going to be no pushover this year. With the after last year. There's, I don't know. It's like, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, whatever.
it is what it is. Jeez, I don't know.
But you know how the NFL does it though. They give you a little taste of Thursday schedule just to get you a little excited. Then they come out with the Monday schedule.
Hey, we're still here. We're still
they're the best at it. They're the best at it.
And there's a reason for that, and it really is. Golden State and the Lakers are playing.
It's unbelievable. Like I watched every game so far, and it's like one game's a blowout. Then the other team blows the other team out the next game, and then the other team blows them out the next game. And now the Lakers are up 2-1, which is surprising to me.
It is,
and I think it's surprising. I think they're old, and but I thought they were done, and then they played the other game. They just beat them by 20, and the day before the game before they got beat by 20 something. So I don't know how these flips and flops and swings go, but I mean. I believe LeBron James is the second greatest player that's ever played the game. So I really believe that.
Yeah, I do too. The second greatest.
Second greatest.
Yeah, not the first.
Not the first.
Contrary to some people believe.
I would argue that and fist fight over that. That's how much I feel. That's how sure I am. Like you can argue about a lot of things in life, but that to me you cannot. And not even alone with the stats, with the competitive mindset of Michael Jordan compared to anybody else on the entire planet. Listen, when you saw the documentary, the only time he cried he didn't cry when they were talking about his dad dying, and he didn't cry about anything else. But you know when he started crying, Jesse, when they asked Michael Jordan a question about, he was always trying to get the other players on the team to the same level as him. And when he couldn't get him there, it was so frustrating for him. Yeah. And that's when he actually started crying during the documentary because he was so frustrated that people would not come to his level.
Yeah. It is pretty crazy, like how well he did and made everyone else, how great he made everyone else around him.
I implore people to go see the Nike movie. I went to go see it. It's not really about Phil Knight. It's about Nike. It's about the Jordan deal, how it all took place. And I really, really implore everybody to go see it because it's a really good movie. It's done. Matt Damon is in it. It's fantastic. I convinced Martineau to come and see it with me, and I'm telling you, it's really good. But how they kind of like fandangled Jordan to come to Nike was a real interesting story.
Well, back to Vegas, they're getting an MLB team. The Oakland Athletics are moving.
Is that
there.
confirmed? Is that confirmed?
They bought 49 acres. And they'll be
incredible.
playing 2027 there.
It's over, guys. I'm telling you right now. Vegas is the place to go.
It'll be the sports capital of the world.
It's done. It's done.
It's crazy, actually.
We said that the other day. We said that multiple times on this. If they get an NBA basketball team,
oh my gosh,
which
and they will. They will. There's no question they will.
You really can go now. It is crazy. They have NHL hockey. They have NFL football, arguably the nicest stadium in NFL, even next to the Cowboys one. And now they're going to have Major League Baseball. And I guarantee you, everybody, it's going to be in a dome. It's not going to be outside. It's going to be in an air-conditioned dome.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You're going to be playing at
It'll be a retractable roof, guaranteed.
Yeah, they can't. They can't, Jesse. They have to have when they're playing baseball in the middle of summer, they can't play when it's 120 degrees outside. They're going to have something that it could be open and then it could be air conditioned and that's going to be great. You know what I mean? And I'm telling you, like that's people got to understand. that city is going to be something special. Like, it's already special, but when they add Major League Baseball and an NBA basketball team, you can forget about it. It's over.
Yeah.
That's that with boxing, MMA.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it's crazy.
Well, NASCAR, like they have a bunch of stuff that they
What are you
do
talking about?
And now
Formula One's going
F1's
there.
coming.
F1's going there.
It's going to be the sports capital of the world.
Of the world.
I don't like. You could see them being the first like European football club there. Like, I mean, like it's so big right now, and it's working so well, and they're doing everything.
And Jesse, you know what? Before it was weird because in our lifetime, and not, you know what I mean? We're not talking about like we're watching all this take place,
Yeah.
but do you remember when they said hockey was going to go there
Yeah.
from the NHL?
Yeah.
We all kind of laughed and said, that's not going to go over well.
Yeah.
And then the first year they almost won the Stanley
Went
Cup.
to the game.
And then that was it. They were off to the races. You couldn't get tickets no more. It's over, right? So they got that in place. The Raiders say, we're going to leave Oakland finally, that shithole, and we're going to go to Vegas, and we're going to make, once again, a stadium that the roof collapses. You want to put the AC on. You know, we have our own grass that comes out. It's real grass, but it's on a board that comes
Rolls
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Only in Vegas that shit happens. And then they go, now we're going to put a Major League Baseball team inside Las Vegas. The second you put the NBA basketball team, I already know where I'm going to retire.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So my retirement, when I retire one day, whatever age that is, you know why? Because I'm going to take my brand new golf clubs, my Titleist T400s with my G4 bag. Listen, I brought it to the course the other day for the first time and put it by the range. There was people hovering around the bag. Like they were hovering. This is too beautiful of a set, right? I'm going to go get myself a membership at a golf course. I'm going to go get myself season tickets to the Raiders. I'm going to go watch a few hockey games every year. I'm going to go watch, you know what I mean? It's Jesse, it is insanity for sports. You know what I mean? I'm going to go watch F1 that's going to be there every year. I mean, come on, man. Where else are you going to go live?
It's insane what they're doing there.
Insane.
Insane. And it'll be awesome. Like,
Jesse, did they come up with the name yet for the baseball team, or is it just going to be the Oakland?
I think it'll be the Vegas A's, like Las Vegas A's.
The Las Vegas A's. Yeah. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, but you know, again, we don't know what the total thing's going to look like, but they're saying it's only going to have 35,000 seats in it, which actually I do kind of like because
perfect.
Because I do think it's better when it looks way fuller than.
Well, okay, you look at most stadiums in Major League Baseball, they're 50,000.
Yeah.
Okay, 40, 50. They're never all the way full. 35,000 gives you the fullness all the time. Like, we got an afternoon game, right? So the elderly people will come. Listen, baseball is different. People don't understand that. They have sometimes like a Wednesday in the middle of the day doubleheader.
Yeah.
You know, people don't even realize that.
It'll be like for older, like, and especially for that generation, like it will be sold out all the time. Like I can't see it not being a big attraction. I could see it doing better numbers than the NHL in its first year. Like I really do think that
Jesse, 100%.
Yeah, it's going to be a big deal, and you know, it's a matter of time before an NBA team goes there. I really think that Seattle and Vegas are next up for the NBA, and again, like,
Seattle deserves it, right? Like Seattle deserves to get the return to the NBA.
I think they should. I mean, they've proven.
I personally think they do, but Vegas right now. I mean, talk about exciting. Like,
and for the players that don't have state tax to pay.
Yeah. Can you imagine that?
It's pretty enticing.
Yeah, it's very enticing.
It's funny when they said no. Like, I remember it was so much hesitation around, like, oh, we don't want players living there with the gambling. And now, how much that's changed. I mean, you can't watch Sportsnet without seeing 42 DraftKings commercials.
But you know what the difference is too, Jesse, too, though? Listen, I love Las Vegas, and I know a lot about it. I lived there when I was a kid, and I know the areas, okay? And so most of these guys aren't living on the Strip, okay?
No.
They're living up in Summerlin, and they're living up in those, like, you know, Red Rock in that area. Listen, let me tell you something. Casinos like a Walmart. You know what I mean? After a while, when you drive by them, that's all they are. They're like, oh, there's another casino, you know, but that's not like the discipline is discipline. Like I'm not a gambler. Okay. So when I go to Las Vegas, I don't spend 10 cents on any machine. I don't play blackjack. I don't play nothing. I spend money on shopping and eating and things like that. But, you get to the point where you realize, I don't care how old you are, you realize that it's not set up for you to win.
Yes, correct. Yeah. And that is the big thing. And
Yeah,
again,
that's why they're so big. That's why these casinos get so elaborate and so big. And, they got all these famous DJs playing there and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Where do you think that money comes from, everybody? That's from the idiots that think they can actually win.
Yeah.
You can't win.
The
You
house
can't
always
win.
wins. I mean, it's the age-old thing. If you watch the movie Casino, you'd know that by now, which you should watch.
It's like, if you play poker, that's your only salvation for
right.
you're playing other people. So that's fair. That I'm okay with, So if you want to go bring, if you play Major League Baseball and you're making, $20 million a year and you want to go sit in the poker room at Caesars or Bellagio, go ahead, or you play for the Raiders. But if you're going to sit at a slot machine or play blackjack, you're an idiot.
Yeah, absolutely. I know. It is funny that way, but yeah, that's it is that.
Yeah, it's true. Listen, Steve Wind, my wife and I met him when he opened the Mirage, and we were sitting there with his brother. This is a true story. At the Wind, Steve Wind, I don't know if he would probably not remember, but it was, you go check the year the Wind was open. Mano and I were there the first week it was open, and him and his brother basically told us without telling us, there is no Santa Claus. So they said that, and Mano and I looked at each other and we're like, oh my God, they just told that there was no Santa Claus. And which meant, what I mean by that is, everybody, they basically told us you really can't win. You know what I mean? Like, it's so not set up for you to win playing any of the games. Because I think my wife asked, which game is the best odds? And they both basically laughed and were basically telling us, guys, this is, come enjoy the shows, go shopping, stay in our hotel. And if you want your kids to go to college, don't gamble.
Yeah, that's right. That's a good.
And that's what they said. They said that without saying it, right? And I thought to myself, when all these guys get to these cities, hey, some of the kids got in trouble already. The kid that played for the Raiders that ended up killing someone in his car. He was out partying late night, and instead of taking an Uber, he took his own car and he killed someone. He was a first round draft choice.
Yep.
And a great player, and he's done. He's done. He's going to end up in jail. So these are the things that can happen anywhere.
It could,
but they're more likely to happen in Las Vegas because of the availability of gambling, prostitution, money changing hands everywhere. It's all about gambling. You got to stay on the straight and narrow. Join a golf club, take up golf. Get your wife involved in some charities, and then do shit like that. You're better off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Join a good church. There's a lot of great churches there.
Yeah, there is a few good ones down there.
Yeah, great pastors in Vegas.
Yeah. So it is. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about the F1 race going there right away.
Oh,
like in November.
Come on, that's crazy.
It's going to be insane. And,
listen, with all that backskate money, you should be getting tickets to the.
They're sold out. And
yeah,
they were
that don't matter. That don't matter to guys like you anymore. Come on, I can't even believe you don't got tickets for that.
Yeah,
F1
next year. Well, they're gonna expand the seats by 180,000. So they're.
Do you imagine?
Yeah.
Do you imagine?
Put
That's
250,000 people down there. And so then it'll be. The problem is hotels, because all the hotels are already sold out for the race, and so you're like, where are you gonna stay? And it is one of those things, like, you're like, holy moly, this. But I don't think anyone really expected, obviously, the level at which North America's taken to F1, and due to the Netflix Drive to Survive series, like, there's no question about it, that it sparked something, and people are like, oh man, we get it. So it is crazy. It's good to see. I want more North America. I want another Canadian race.
Look how many laps. Look how many laps in F1 races.
Yeah, they're supposed to last about an hour and 45 minutes with stoppages. Like
so do the math. How long is the NFL game? 2 hours and 21 minutes, 22 minutes. How long's a hockey game? 2 hours and whatever. And an F1 race is an hour and 40, 50, 60, like in that range. They're smart. See what they did? They're smart. They knew if they want to bring this outside of Europe, they have to do it so people don't get bored, and you don't get bored watching an F1 race.
Yeah. And sometimes you can, but whatever. It is what
just like you can during an MMA fight,
yeah,
right?
It is true.
Watching it.
It's true.
Yeah.
Did you watch the fights on the weekend?
I did.
What'd you think?
I don't know what to say.
Well, you got to say something. I know there's something
Well, okay,
cooking in there.
Segudo comes back, fights the current champion, Aljamain. And I don't know how Aljamain is the champion at that weight class. I have no clue. You have to, Segudo is literally a 125 pounder. He's went up to fight this guy, hasn't fought in years. It was a 5-round split decision. And I thought to myself, are you kidding me, man?
Yeah.
Like this is the champ at this division.
Yeah.
And the UFC's praying that kid beats Aljamain. So they're praying. What's his name? Oh,
Patty?
I can't. What?
It's not Patty. Patty.
No,
Pim-
not no,
Oh.
no. Keep going. I'll get it.
Tattoo guy.
Yes, I know. Listen, when you talk as much sports as we do, you end up losing your brain here because
and everyone knows the name, and it always happens. Why can't I think of his freaking name either? We're gonna be so mad when we hear it.
yeah, because it's ridiculous, So,
oh my gosh. There it is.
uh,
I want to say Sean
O'Malley.
Yeah.
Sean O'Malley. Yeah. So Sugar Shane O'Malley. So he's gonna fight him next, and the UFC's praying.
Oh yes.
He beats him.
Yeah. No,
because they can't stand to have this type of champion that is just so, I don't know what he is. It's just I am not down with him at all. I don't like him. UFC is kissing the ground right now that John Jones is back, because who else is there? Diaz is gone now, going to fight Jake Paul. He's gone. Now who do you got? Who do you got that's anybody
Patty,
wants to watch?
Which they kind of gave a win to last time because
and he's going to get
was
murdered. He has death row coming his way. Anybody he fights from here on in, he's going to get murdered. He is now, you know what happens in the MMA world? You kind of graduate from the bottom feeders, and now you got to get up here and like float with these sharks. He won't pass these sharks. There's still another level above that, and he won't even get to that. He won't.
it is scary, but
but everybody's calling him out for a reason, Jesse. So after every fight in that weight class, everybody's calling out Paddy Pimblett. There's a reason for that, because they all see what we all see too. A lot of faults.
Well, everybody, once again, thanks for watching.
But please do not forget about our great sponsors and advertisers, Backscape. Arguably the greatest product for back hair, and as we discovered recently, front hair. If you're that guy that doesn't want to look like Burt Reynolds from the 70s, okay? You remember when Burt did the Playgirl thing?
Of course.
Yeah, you forget it, okay? None of that. If you want to be smooth and slick on the front, it works in the front too. Backscape has multi-purposes here, ladies and gentlemen. If you're not into having chest hair and to having, hair on your upper body, and of course your back hair, number one, right? But it works both ways. And literally, don't take my word for it. Check out the Google reviews on Backscape. Check out the Facebook reviews on Backscape. This product is going to win some kind of award somewhere because it is so damn good. And you go to backscape.com and get yours today. You can thank me later.
Yes. And don't forget about Crystal Glass. For
Your
how
clear
many
choice.
years? 70 years or something crazy?
70 plus years. The founder died this year,
Yeah.
Ed Bean, who is just the greatest of great. I loved him. He was
Started in the back of a little pickup truck.
Yeah, started in a pickup truck, 70 plus years ago, turned it into a huge company. Our dear friend Ken Franchuk runs it. I mean, it's incredible. It's Crystal Glass, your clear choice for all your glass needs. Go to crystalglass.ca or call 310 Glass for all your glass needs, residential, commercial, and auto.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, hey, you're gonna watch some hockey tonight. There's
We're going to watch some hockey, but let's not pretend, everybody. Start tuning in every week, 5 p.m. Mountain, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, the greatest sportscast in the history of sportscast, the Me and Jesse podcast with myself and Jesse Martineau. Enough is enough already. You can watch all that Barstool bullshit. You can watch all the rest of that other stuff, but you want to come here. We have great guests from the NFL, NHL, NBA, some maniacs that actually climbed Mount Everest with oxygen and without. And you never know who's going to be on our show every week. Jesse and I only once every 5 weeks do a show together like this today, which me personally, I get super excited about because we get to talk to each other. We agree, disagree on certain things, but I love these days and I look forward to the next one. But next week we'll have a guest on the show, and the week after, you got to tune in, tell your friends about the podcast, get them to subscribe. And enough is enough already. We're big.
And we'll find out in a few short hours where Connor Bedard's going to go.
And I'm praying the Red Wings. My dad just called me and he told me they have a 5% chance that the Red Wings get him.
They do. It's true. I mean, he could be a Red Wing.
Yeah, that would be nuts, right? So we really need a kid like that, but everybody needs a kid like that.
It would be crazy. But there's, the Ducks got 25, Columbus 13, Chicago 11, San Jose 9, Montreal 8.5.
I can see that kid. I can see that kid in Chicago or Montreal.
Yes, but Ducks, you have the biggest chance of getting it. And,
that's what that means. So sometimes that doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. You might. I mean, the Canucks could get him. Like that, they have a 3% chance.
Poor kid ended up in
Or the Capitals have a 6% chance.
Listen, shittiest sports city in the world, Vancouver, Canada.
And they haven't been able to put it together, have they?
They have not, Jesse.
And on that note, we'll see you next time on the Me and Jesse podcast. That's Mark Pavelich. I'm Jesse. Have a great night, everybody. And we'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching the Me and Jesse podcast. Follow us at facebook.com/meandjesse.